Hey kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain.
That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the beloved animated sitcom The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond, and the newest episodes when they air. Why do we do it this way? Well, plenty of other podcasts have discussed a golden age, that being seasons 1 through 10, and we're out here to find if any episodes from the latter seasons can match the golden age ones. I say we because I'm just one annoyed grunt boy named Craig. With me is the other annoyed grunt boy,
Steve.
Hello, Steven. I know when we do these podcasts, especially, well, mostly the older episodes, but this is a new episode and the time of when we record this, I try to make sure, and we do a horrible job, that we don't date ourselves. And while many people die every day, it's sad and tragic. But as fans of comedy, as fans of just this media of Hollywood and movies and TV, and we're not the first people, and I'm sure other podcasts will be talking about this, and don't want to keep beating this to the ground, but like how wonderful Rob Reiner was as a creator. And usually when celebrity deaths happen, like, it sucks and it's sad, and someone that you care about, and as you know, someone who brought you so much joy in life and just seemed like such a positive influence in people and in life in general, it's sad when something like that happens. And like when a celebrity dies, yes, it's sad, but I can go on with my day. Like, I've only ever really felt sad for a few celebrity deaths, and like Harold Ramis being one of them. Like, I was just like devastated because he was a comedy genius. But you know, when Rob's father passed away at age 99, like, it was sad. Or Norman Lear passes away. But these are men who were nearing 100 years old, and what a great life. And they went out peacefully. What happened to Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, is just like beyond tragic. And from a man who, like, even though he was in his 70s, he like, and the way his father lived to an older age, like, Rob had like 30, maybe 40 years left of like giving us content. And I just listened to him on podcast recently with Ted Danson. It was wonderful. The new Spinal Tap movie came out, and just watched that. And Rob Reiner, like, just him as a pop culture icon, like, amazing. Everything pretty much he's ever done was amazing. So when the news came, like, yeah, it's just weird. So much like sadness at this time of the year too.
Yeah, I think back like to like 2016, about like the year that they lost David Bowie and then George Michael, and that was sad. And I feel bad for all those people.
Prince,
yeah,
Prince and Rickman, wasn't he around that same time?
Yeah, and I think about how this year we started the year losing David Lynch, and now we're closing out the year with losing Rob Reiner. And I know those are two very disparate people, but I am hard pressed to think of two people who have influenced my pop culture viewing more. And David Lynch has a special place in my heart, but Rob Reiner, man, just so much that he's added to the world, so much vernacular. You know, you think about when Harry Met Sally, like, when I went to New York, I had to go to Katz's Deli because of that movie. I watched Spinal Tap on Saturday just because it's one of my favorite movies, and I was like seeing things again that I didn't notice, and like just how brilliant it was. Just so much stuff and so much goodness to the world, like not just making funny stuff, but making stuff with so much emotional heart, and just being like so human. And it's a real kick in the nuts, because it's just, he's so good. I don't even know what to say. It's just so sad that it happened, and the way that it did happen too is just ugh.
Yeah, I mean, as of this record, we only know like very little what happened, you know, but as of this point, him and his wife were murdered, possibly by their son. Again, we don't know the full facts, but it just seems like what a horrible way to go. Obviously it's a horrible way to go, but like, you were talking about this man's career. Think about how a lot of directors of films, like, they kind of stick with a genre. Like, you know, you think about like, I know like Spielberg has gone throughout, you know, a lot of genres. But you think of like Tarantino, even like Tarantino or like your indie directors, like, they still feel like those movies. But when you go from Spinal Tap being this mockumentary, I imagine like audiences, like I can't imagine like audiences like, hey, that's Meathead from All in the Family, and he's this director character. And then he did the Sure Thing, but then like after that, like Stand By Me, like such a different genre. Like this is a coming of age story, a Stephen King novella, or was it a Richard Bachman? But still. Then after that, Princess Bride, Harry Met Sally, and then he kind of defined the modern rom-com with Harry Met Sally. And you could stick with just being a rom-com kind of guy after that, right? No, what does he do? He does another Stephen King book. He does Misery, complete 180 from Harry Met Sally, and then a political thriller. The next movie, A Few Good Men. Like these aren't genre connecting type of films. Like he tries something different and wants to put his toes in other like genres. When I'm watching A Few Good Men, it doesn't feel like this is the same guy who made my childhood with a Princess Bride. This is too adult.
And what's amazing is any one of those movies that you mentioned could be a career-defining movie. If he had just done A Few Good Men, or if he had just done A Princess Bride, that could have been like his whole career. That could have been like, this is what I do. But he did all of those with such success.
We talked about how Spinal Tap 2 just came out on HBO. This was last week. And we're like, well, maybe this could be a good Patreon, just an honor. One of those things like Rob Reiner, like podcast, for our Patreon listeners. But I think it's a little tough. And I've seen Spinal Tap 2, and you're talking about, we were talking about him as a director, but him as a performer and improvising, like his scenes. Did you watch Spinal Tap 2, by the way? You said you watched the
I
first
haven't
one?
watched it yet. I watched the first one in preparation, and then that happened, and it's like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah. Watching him and Chris Guest interact, him as Marty and Chris Guest as Nigel, that is probably my favorite scenes in Spinal Tap 2 is their interaction. These are two guys that do such a good job doing improv with each other. Obviously a guest on The Simpsons on our second episode we ever recorded.
Mm-hmm.
What was that episode? $1
Million AB.
Yeah. Which I'm sure we have that posted somewhere, but it's probably a horrible record, so don't listen to it. Maybe we might have to redo that one, like we did with the first episode. But yeah, this is just kind of what I kind of want to get off my chest.
I think it's a very sweet moment.
The way we are just taking this information right now, and I know, but there's so much Simpsons connection with like everybody who's ever worked on The Simpsons has been influenced by this man.
Yeah, and I think that any fan of comedy in the modern age, or fans of movies even, can't do it without the contributions of Rob Reiner. So yeah, it's so tragic, and he is was such a great artist, and he will be missed. And also to his wife, I'm so sorry as well. Like,
and to his other children. And Steve, I think we need to make our fans laugh by talking about The Simpsons. And we're going to talk about this week's episode. It's called Parahormonal Activity, in which we go to the future, the very far future of like 5 years from where the current Simpsons lays. And we get to see preteen Lisa and teen Bart and toddler. No, what are you? Yeah. What are you when you're like 5 or 6?
I was kind of wondering that myself when I was reading on the notes. What is that called when you're like a 4-year-old? Like you're not quite a kindergartner, like a preschooler?
Dickhead. I think that's what they're called. Dickheads.
Yes.
Yeah. Maggie, Dickhead Maggie, and Homer and the rest. And I'm not reading off of anything. I'm just thinking about the episode and how delightful it might or might not be. Because future episodes could be whatever that sound was. Hey, Steve, why don't we go ahead and take a break, come back and discuss?
Sounds great.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about Parahormonal Activity. It's the 11th episode of the 37th season. It's episode 801 in the show's run. Original air date, December 14th, 2025. The nerd code is 37ABF03. Written by Loni, Steele, Sosthand. Directed by Chris Clements. Showrunners Brian Kelley. And, of course, the new Al Jean, Matt Selman.
That's right. Okay, Loni Steele Sosthand. She is a writer and producer. She's been with The Simpsons for a while, but before that, she worked on Disney Channel type shows like Cousins for Life, Lab Rats, and Dog with a Blog. This is her 5th episode of The Simpsons, and we've reviewed all of her episodes thus far. Count them down. We've had The Sound of Bleeding Gums, Carl Carlson Rides Again, The Yellow Lotus, and Convenience Airways. And I gotta say, those are 4 great episodes. I think we liked all of those.
Well, I was hesitant on The Yellow Lotus because I had never watched The White Lotus. And I'll let you know, Steve, during one of the Disney streams of all the episodes, that one came on. And since then, I have seen all 3 seasons of The White Lotus. And I gotta say, I got the joke.
Nice. You got the funny singing and the dead person and all that.
I'm excited for White Lotus season 4. That's going to be what, in France land?
I think so. And have they revealed any of the cast members? I feel like they have, but I don't remember who they were. I want to say Winona Ryder. Am I making that up?
Yeah, I think it's Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, and the rest of Stranger Things.
Some odder happenings are happening at the White Lotus.
I mean, okay, not a bad pitch. Like, just do the next season of White Lotus with the same cast of Stranger Things.
Oh my God, Barb's dead.
Oh, I forgot about that character. I think she died, what, the 4th episode of the first season? I've been watching Stranger Things. It's weird because I watch Stranger Things, and then I'm also watching Welcome to Derry, and it's hard to put those two together because it's about, kids and a scary monster.
Right.
Speaking of islands with scary monsters and kids.
Beautiful segue. Let's get on to The Simpsons by Matt Groening.
Yeah, Steve, we have a couch gag, but it's really part of the episode because it's Marge's 39th birthday. So we've always debated if, she's 36 or 39. And here we finally see it's 39. She's younger than us. Yeah. And it's a banner and balloons are hung with care. And the family arrives in the couch giving Marge a cake. And next, it's Marge's 40th, then 41st, followed by, as one would expect, the 42nd. But then on her 43rd birthday, which is my current age.
That's true.
Bart and Lisa are in their teens, and Maggie is just about 4 years old, and she's wearing a turtle shirt. So speaking of Pennywise the Clown, that turtle will protect her because of... Okay, I'm not going to get into...
We're all
Stephen
in Turtle
King's
World.
Ed
Yeah.
lore. Okay. But Marge wonders aloud if this is finally the year that she'll change her hair, but decides against it, thinking that she lacks courage.
Oof. I like that intro a lot. It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to watch the kids grow up. And our episode begins, as it always does, the following morning. The birthday party dishes are still in the sink, but life goes on. Homer is eager to eat his breakfast before his hormonal kids come down. And Marge tries to explain that Bart and Lisa's their teenage feelings, but Homer can deal with those. But the smells, not so much.
So while he eats, Homer works on his best man speech for Ned Flanders' upcoming wedding. So after mocking stupid Flanders, Homer shows Marge a joke he wrote, wondering if it's too mean. And Marge thinks that it is absolutely too mean, meaning Homer's using it. So a sullen black-hooded Bart walks into the kitchen, loading his plate up with food, and Lisa, dealing with some age-related skin issues, also comes down.
Good morning. How'd you sleep?
None of my clothes fit, and I'm breaking out. I am not going to school.
You're in 8th grade. If your face was normal, you'd stand out.
Ah!
Honey, the changes we go through as women are beautiful and should be celebrated with joy and gratitude as the gifts they are.
You're delusional.
More food. Where is? I just went shopping yesterday. I can't keep up with your appetite.
There's chili in the earthquake kit.
Let me. Happy to help.
Little big brother.
I'm driving to school today. How am I going to learn not to kill people if you don't let me practice?
Maggie, rest your voice. You're still getting over that laryngitis.
Please, don't let Bart drive. It's too scary. He drives so wiggly and everybody honks at us and yells bad words and shows us fingers.
All right, so much I love about this opening clip, and I'm assuming you do too, is it's only a few years in the future, so I like how Homer and Marge aren't too aged. I mean, there's a little wrinkles like crow's feet, but not too much. I love the Lisa growth spurt. She's taller than Bart. That's just really funny. Bart's voice is still kind of changing. He's very much like a moody teen. He's not that rambunctious little rapscallion that we're used to.
No, he's like the tired, angry teen that...
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of that obviously is part of the story. And another like kind of tired joke that they've always done, not tired to me, but like every time they have a future episode where Maggie's about to talk, there's always an explanation. And I love how the laryngitis comes in. I'm like, oh, there it is. But then, nope.
We get a voice, and not just any voice. That is the mean girl herself, Lindsay Lohan, providing Maggie's voice, which I think is a brilliant choice, and I think it works really well.
I have a theory because, as everyone knows, Lindsay Lohan was born July 2nd, 1986, which possibly could be the same year Maggie and maybe Date was born because the Tracy Ullman show aired in 87. So,
Yeah. That's very possible. Another detail that I really like is that Bart is reading his book from right to left because he's reading Japanese comic books. And they start in the different way. And so I think that's a nice little detail there.
I didn't catch that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also, what joke do you think Homer wrote that is very offensive?
I would say it's about Ned's hammer.
Absolutely.
Probably some sort of joke about how Jesus was hung like this, but Ned is hung like this. Something to that effect. And maybe his dick won't kill this one.
Jesus. That's pretty bad. But you're saying, like, we don't know why Mr. Krabappel died, right?
Right.
It's just obviously Maggie Roswell passed away. Not Maggie Roswell. Marsha Wallace. And are you saying that, like, Ned thrusted too hard in Mrs. K's... Maybe you know what it is, like, Mrs. K was very adventurous, and she wanted to, try the back door, and his hog just, like, destroyed her intestines. Like,
maybe.
Her,
yeah.
Rule 34 this for me real quick, Steve.
All right. As Marge drives Lisa and Maggie to school, she hums along to Rupert Holmes's 70s AM radio classic Escape, the Pina Colada song, asking Lisa if she remembers the tune. And Lisa angrily turns off the car stereo and asks why she was volunteered to perform at Ned's wedding. She can't figure out why she would ever want to do that, but Marge suggests that since Homer is the best man, Maggie's the flower girl, and Bart is the videographer, maybe Lisa would want to get involved too.
So this episode would be like the best episode of all time, except they included Escape, the Pina Colada song. I love that song so much.
Is this a karaoke disc jockey thing that you experienced a lot?
No.
Oh.
No, not at all. I just hate this song. I don't know why. Like, every time it's in a movie, it's overused in movies. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but James Gunn including that song is like, come on, James, there's other songs. And there's other songs.
Yeah, I think it's not the song's fault. I think it's a good song, and it's a novel, like, one-hit wonder that got played too much. I totally understand what you're saying. I think that the song itself, for me at least, isn't so grating, but it does get played a lot.
I just don't. I hate the song.
I get it.
I hate it more than I hate white jelly beans.
Ooh. Yeah, white jelly beans are kind of gross.
Yeah. I think they're pina colada, aren't they? I do love a pina colada, though.
Yeah, me too. One of my top tier cocktails.
Do you know the Irish version of that drink is?
What's that?
It's the pina colada, like the ring, the colada ring.
So it's just vodka and Irish whiskey
and those rings inside it. Yeah, that's the ice. Okay, we're gonna invent that drink for St. Patrick's Day, the pina colada. Not like, but yeah, it's got to be green, and you only give it to the ones you love. Well, Marge recalls how much Lisa used to love to perform for people, and she's showing off a clip of Lisa playing the sax from season 7, episode 2. I'm just making that up, Steve. Who knows? So as Marge points out, Lisa used to be so confident, but Lisa's recent growth has affected that confidence, and she doesn't want 1,000 eyeballs staring at her. As Lisa gets out of the car, Marge calls out to her, offering a zip-up pouch for provisions. Should Lisa get her first period. Lisa takes the pouch, noting that the eyeballs are looking at her.
Well, after receiving a notice for a girls' brunch at Luann's, Marge is excited to spend some time with some people whose hormones aren't completely wackadoodle. But unfortunately for Marge, her two oldest kids aren't the only ones dealing with their changing bodies.
Wackadoodle! My hormones are wackadoodle!
As our last eggs circle the drain, let's raise a glass to the big change.
Menopause? Aren't we all a little young for that?
Perimenopause, Marge. The coming attractions before the horror movie that is the Big M.
Don't tell me you haven't had any of the symptoms. Hot flashes.
Mood swings. You know I wake up at exactly 3:17 every night. Why 3:17?
I know. And then I can't help but compulsively rearrange the furniture. You know, last night I created a workstation for the dog.
If we can't turn these middle-aged frowns upside down, let's fill them in with a syringe full of youth.
Oh, yeah, sister.
Heroin? I've heard it's amazing, but I'm not sure it's for me.
They're facial fillers, Marge. Use these to mark the parts of your face you hate.
Black don't crack, but it sure can droop.
I just don't think our faces are something we need to fix.
I love Marge saying like, "Oh, heroin, that sounds like great, but I don't know if it's for me."
And the way she delivers the line, like, she's fine with her friends, like, apparently doing it. Like, oh, they're all heroin junkies. Okay. But also the way she's saying it, too, is like, yeah, maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, maybe a little shot. There is one big blunder, though.
That we're not there with them.
That's right. Doing heroin.
What's the blunder?
When Sarah Wiggum is talking, she has Bernice Hibbert's voice, which is weird because Megan Mullally, who is now the voice of Sarah Wiggum, is even credited at the end of the episode, but she's not heard at all because they show her, Sarah, talking, and it's clearly still Bernice's voice.
Oh, you're right. Like, that is very jarring. That's like old school, like, Filmation, Hanna-Barbera 80s, like, mistakes, but it's not really a mistake. Like, who cares? Like, remember we were watching, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and all of a sudden Leonardo's voice is coming out of Donatello, and it's like, it's just for kids. Who gives a shit? But this is a major one. And if we were still on Twitter, Al Jean was the showrunner, he would have tweeted out the mistake, but he's too busy being retired from The Simpsons.
Well, Matt Selman, I gotta say, what the fuck?
Matt Selman, this is for you.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
And then we will be the showrunners. We'll run it right to the ground.
We'll make them pay. We'll make them all pay.
But how much further can the ground even go, Steve?
Oh.
I'm the internet. The Simpsons sucks.
I haven't watched it since 1994, and even then it was getting bad. Internet's dumb. Thanks, Internet.
So Marge suggests that she and her brunch buddies celebrate the wisdom and achievements that are the story that their wrinkles tell. So she's met with a blank and wrinkly stare, so she excuses herself.
So that evening, as expected, Marge is wide awake at exactly 3:17 a.m., and with sleepy determination, she rearranges the furniture in the living room. And as night becomes morning, Marge sits in her love seat, which now faces a wall. She looks over to find Bart's backpack and the Robot Kaiju Honor Battle manga inside.
After pursuing Bart's reading material, Marge wakes up Homer, who had a realization in his sleep that hamnesia is when you forget what ham is. Marge is concerned that the graphic novel that Bart is reading is basically what she calls a tingle book. So she wonders, is it normal for a boy to look at bunnies with big boobs? And I'm wondering, when she's saying that, is this supposed to be like a Matt Groening manga with...
Yeah, Life in Hell.
With, Matt Groening just makes manga now with big boobs. Homer assures her that a boy will look at a rock if it has big boobs. Steve, look up Dwayne Johnson with boobs.
Oh, I can smell what he's cooking. A horny dish of me.
And then he points out a boulder of large breasts in Bart's comic.
Marge continues to question Bart's reading material, asking why a lady robot would need to wear a skirt, especially one so short. And Homer offers comfort, saying that all things considered, this is fairly innocent. It could be worse. Bart could be online watching live-action romance content. And Marge grabs Homer by the lips, shouting, "Shut your muzzle mouth," before apologizing for her outburst. Her emotions may be going haywire, but Homer thinks it's probably nothing.
So when Homer steps out of his house, he's greeted by Ned, who is stepping out of his own, much larger house. Ned's bride-to-be, Pam, asks how the best man speech is coming along, and Homer is making good progress, but would love to hear any embarrassing stories to help with the savage takedown. And all Pam can offer is the time Ned saved her life from choking on a baby in a king cake at Mardi Gras. Not like there's an actual baby. People don't, there's always like the little toy plastic baby that's in the king cakes. Or is that a reference to like when him and Maude were doing that play about not doing drugs and
Oh yeah,
the
California
cheeseburger
cheeseburger.
sandwich with the baby. Also, Flanders like looking fit too.
He's got a good life. His house is nice. He's looking fit. His bride to be very attractive. Go Ned.
I like to see Pam's Pam-Pams.
Oh,
It's an Office reference, Steve.
I got it.
Get with it.
So after muttering about the stupid, happy future Flanders, Homer heads off to a hard day of work at the Springfield nuclear power plant. That hard work, flipping through the pages of Magazine, is interrupted when Homer gets a phone call alerting him that Marge is in need. So hearing this, Homer rushes out of the Sector 7G, eager to check on his wife.
So he pulls up to Sprawl Mart with the parentheses, still not a parody of Walmart, and heads to the freezer section where Marge has been for the past 30 minutes. So she's using a bag of peas to cool herself, and Marge tells Homer that she's experiencing the first hot flash. That, along with the insomnia and the compulsive redilating, must mean one thing. It's premenopause. And this is not the first time Marge has had pee on her breasts, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's probably some videos out there. Again, check Rule 34.
I'm assuming Homer just has, a fetish of our favorite president.
I mean, the Simpsons are yellow for reasons. But yeah, perimenopause, it's a real thing. I have not experienced it, but my wife has, so I guess I have by proxy. It seems bad. I feel for any of those who are experiencing it. So walking by Frozen Jasper, which is a great touch, what a time to be alive, Marge discovers that she's old. Homer takes a moment, knowing that he needs to say the perfect thing, so he raises his hand for a high five, but is met with a bag of peas flying in his face.
Not the first time that Homer's had peas in his face.
And the next day, Marge mutters about her change of life, while Homer appreciates her newfound passion for interior design. And it seems that everyone is upset except for Homer, who tries to keep the peace, not the peas.
Kitchen couch! You finally get me.
I'm driving to school today.
Got another sit. I'm gonna live under a troll bridge.
I'm a flower girl, and I want special shoes. Pink, phones, and lights, and music.
Everyone shut your breakfast holes!
When I run over a bunch of nuns, it'll be your
Homer, your wife is going through the terrible change of perimeningitis, so it's down to you to be the voice of non-crazy. This is where years of therapy mumbo-jumbo pays off. Emotional dysregulation, feelings, validation, crystals, and a tiny gong on the bookshelf.
I don't know why that worked, but it kind of did.
Maybe it's just the soothing tone.
That's like half of it, isn't it?
It'd be nice if that actually worked, what Homer just did.
Yeah, just being like therapy speak. But yeah, I love this dynamic of like Homer being not like the sane one, but like trying to keep the peace. It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, Homer got to be crazy Homer when the kids were just kids, and now they're teens, preteens, and teens. And so it's like him like realizing, time to actually step up and try to help. Because I think this Homer especially is not this selfish jerk-ass Homer we're used to. He's very accommodating and helpful and or trying to be at least, and a little bit more caring. And I feel like he's learned his lessons from the past. Like the whole idea that him and Flanders are friends right now, it's showing that this character has grown and matured like everyone else has.
Yeah, I think that's it does show a lot of growth. And I think that, with both Lisa and Marge experiencing changes in their hormones, their dynamic is going to change. And they've also always had a low-key kind of frustration with one another. So that's heightened. And then, Bart is Bart, but now Bart's a teenager. And so there's a lot of emotions going on. So yeah, having Homer as the calm, cool cucumber, good on him.
Do you know who else had a low-key, I forgot what you just said, but I was going to say
Thor.
Yeah. You said too much and I forgot the words I was going to use.
It sounds like something that people have said to me before.
At the Foot Swamp shoe store, Marge is eager to find the shoes that Maggie is looking for. And so she shows off a drawing of a wing shoe that says Big Girl and offers pink bows, flashy lights, wheelies, a unicorn horn, and a USB-C port. And store employee Sherry, or Terry, or of course as we call her, Sherry O'Terry, tells Marge with a fair amount of sass that those shoes don't exist. And suddenly, Marge hears a familiar voice.
These scoochers are a revelation! Scooch on, scooch off, scooch on, scooch off! Marge Simpson, my old crush / obsession / problematic fixation?
Oh, Artie, now is not the time to hit on me.
Not a problem. For the first time in my life, the sight of your face has left me unsmitten. Do I see the flawless young girl whose dental hygienist I bribed for a Dixie cup of her saliva? I do. Not!
Oh, I guess that's a good thing.
I feel nothing, I tell you. Maybe it's these super cushiony shoes. Or maybe it's the teeny tiny frown line I detect between your eyes. But I feel liberated. Skip with me, sales girl. Skip with me. Whee!
And we have the return of John Lovitz as Artie Ziff. No, not that one John Lovitz, but the comedian John Lovitz.
Yes, not the political commentator, who has a show with Jon Favreau, which is always very confusing.
But it's not Jon Favreau.
Exactly. It's like, are we getting a really wacky Iron Man remake with John Lovitz? I would love that. But no, we just get some dorks talking about politics. And they're talking about the right things because we're not a political podcast, so it's up to them. See, this is why I don't do it.
It's a very gross revelation that he paid the dentist for a spit cup. That's gross.
Yeah, Artie Ziff is a pervert. Also, I didn't like the way that he was dancing with Sherry or Terry, because, like, if Marge is too old, is he looking for,
Oh, Artie Ziff's been to the island.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Of course, moving along from that, Scoochers are obviously a parody of Skechers, which are historically really ugly. The worst shoe ever. Just awful shoes. But he's wearing shoes that, like, slip on and off with ease. And Skechers does have that, and it was a technology that they came out with a few years ago. However, they got it in a good thing that they did because Nike wanted to release that and sell the shoes for like $500. But the Americans with Disability Act was like, hey, don't do that because people who have special needs also need shoes. And so Skechers took the patent and ran with it. And so despite making horrible, ugly shoes, they did a really good thing. So go Skechers.
I want a pair.
Yeah, $500. I'll get them for you.
Well, Skechers are famously not that expensive, right?
That's another thing is, like, with them having that shoe that clicks in and off really easily, they're a lot more accessible for people who can't afford them. So, yeah.
Good on Skechers and fuck Nike.
Exactly. Looking in the mirror of the shoe store, Marge sees herself as an old woman with a face full of wrinkles. So she rushes to Luann's house, eager to get everything shiny and plumped with the help of Botox. And Luann shows zero surprise in her face, but that's mostly due to all the toxins injected to it. So after looking into the I'll have what she's having celebrity face menu, poor choice, Marge gets an injection into her forehead, and she can feel all of her character being erased, and she loves it.
And Lisa, who's going door to door selling candy for the debate team, is shocked to witness her mother receiving cosmetic treatment. Shouting, "What the hell?" She quotes Marge's statement regarding women going through changes that are beautiful and should be celebrated with joy and gratitude.
Marge argues that Lisa's youthful face full of collagen couldn't possibly understand. And Lisa says that, she has her own zits, but Marge says that acne, just a phase, like the story of the ugly duckling. But Lisa's concerned that some ugly ducklings just grow up to be ugly ducks. And then a lanky and tired Milhouse walks down the stairs asking his mom if she's seen his mustache comb.
It's nice to see they got Adam Driver to play Milhouse in this episode.
So the mother-daughter conflict of The Simpsons continues at home, and once again, Homer's there to offer a little bit of peace.
Don't you take that tone with me, young lady.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. What tone did you take when you found out your mother was a raging hypocrite?
Just because I said one thing and did the opposite, that makes me a hypocrite?
Emotional truths being shared, for which I am gratitude. May I trigger you with some organic matcha? Why don't we end the session here and we'll pick up next time? Now, let's sort you two out. Grab some sofa, you guys. Picking up where we left off last week. Snowball, you were upset that Santa's little helper gave you an ultimatum.
I found something.
More manga?
No, this.
Adult live-action romance content!
Our son is ruined. Childhood over. Innocence gone. He's gonna grow up to be an incel, or a sexist jerk, or a manosphere guru.
Pornography.
Well, we grew up as saints as children, so we don't know what Bart's going through at all.
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, it's a thing that, I guess now more than ever, parents have to deal with.
I'm just thinking if I was a kid growing up now, there's too much. I would have seen too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think conservative side of myself, I think that could be a problem. We were the birth of the internet. I mean, not the 50s or 60s when the military had it, but I'm saying like for the public use, like in the early 90s. And yet we still had to deal with, like, if we had a magazine, that was it. We, the Fredericks of Hollywood catalogs or the
Victoria's Secrets, yeah.
Yes, like that was still our bread and butter. And sometimes that bread and butter got too sticky to hold.
I was gonna say we did butter those breads,
but like even then, you type in Captain Janeway on the internet and it's just going trying to get that picture, just like comic book guy in that episode, right?
Yeah, there was kind of a quaint innocence to the filth that we looked at.
Yeah, it was still just like pictures. Like we didn't have videos. Like I don't know when the first time I saw a video, but not like I know when it was, and I have it in my journal because it was formidable years. But I'm still, what I'm saying, like you used to live in a hotel. I'm sure you had access to a lot of the adult channels then. But
yeah,
real sex, right? HBO.
That is true. But the reason that I stopped watching is because I discovered that if I turned to channel, I kid you not, 69, if somebody else had rented pornographic material, I could watch it as they're watching it, but because like the way the system worked, there was an alternate channel. So if somebody rented a movie, I could watch that movie while they watched it. And I thought, as a 15-year-old boy, that's great. Although I worked at the hotel at the time, and I remember checking out, the next morning, a guy was leaving the hotel, and it dawned on me that we watched the same thing at the same time, and that bothered me a lot. So I stopped.
And you were like, "See you later, Uncle Gary," because you were staying over.
Right, and it's a weird kind of the term that's not politically correct, Eskimo brothers, like, but for that. And I cannot imagine what it would be like to be a parent of a boy right now. So if you are, I'm sorry.
So when you're saying that you could watch what they were watching, like at that time, was their ability? See, I forget technology. They couldn't pause anything, right, and rewind the porn they got, or could they?
I don't think so. I think it was like you rented it for probably like $10 or $20 per video, and then it just played. And I don't think you could pause it. I think it was like kind of like a pay-per-view thing where it would just go.
Yeah, because I remember like we used to get pay-per-view, not porn, but like pay-per-view that doesn't exist anymore, right? Like there used to be like events like through cable, like wrestling and stuff like that would be a thing, like pay-per-view only. I mean, the Simpsons even talk about it. Was that episode where the boxing one, right? Or there's a big fight.
Yeah, and
Homer steals cable.
Yeah, the Lisa versus the Homer versus the Eighth Amendment.
Right. Anyways, but I remember like pay-per-view, like you could rent movies instead of going to the video store to rent, the latest blockbuster film. You can rent it for. Was it just like 24 hours, right? And it was like $20 or something like that. But I remember like my parents would like, okay, we really want to watch this movie. They would sometimes rent movies and record off the pay-per-view. I mean, and so like I remember, yeah, which was a way to save the movie. I think that's why a lot of times movies were expensive for pay-per-view, because if you just recorded it, and then they probably like figured a way for like, piracy at that time too, right? Like later on, like okay, if you hit record, maybe the record won't work as well. I don't know. old technology, Steve, that I forget about and I think about from time to time.
Yeah.
Like remember trying to take like renting a video and then putting it to 2 VCRs and then trying to tape the movie to another tape, and there'd be like encryption or some sort of thing where like I remember like trying to record like or tape a new movie and like the color would just fade in and out. The picture is faded in and out because that was the piracy.
Right. And like sometimes there'd be a crawl on the bottom of the screen, like property of or something. Yeah.
Anyways, pornography. Kids do it. We can't stop it.
They
right?
watch it. They don't do it.
Again, this island I was at, Steve, a lot different. But it's also funny because like now, like with Bart, like he's into a specific like genre. It seems like that's not human, and that's what Marge is freaking out about.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what Bart is into. It seems like maybe he's into like hentai or tentacle stuff. I don't know.
But also, like, I'm thinking about it now. Like, if you look at like regular porn, no such thing. But like, if it's just like porn stars, right? Like the paid actors, the fake bodies and fake everything. Like that's to me like AI porn.
Right. I get what
It
you're
just
saying.
doesn't look real. That stuff doesn't interest me. Like you get older, you're like, I just don't give a shit about this kind of stuff anymore. It's nice. Like thinking as a kid, I'm like, am I ever gonna like not think about sex? And it's safe to say, yes, you will, kids.
It's kind of a relief. Yeah.
Like every day, you're like, oh man, I gotta take care of something. No Nut November. If I was in my 20s, I'm like, that's not possible. But now in my 40s, I'm like, that's very possible, and I don't even think about it. I'm going from No Nut November 2022 to now. I'm still doing great. How I had a kid in between those years, I don't know.
Maybe it's not yours.
The kid does look awfully a lot like Artie Ziff. Anyways, back to the Simpsons, Steve.
All right.
Homer tells Marge that he's sorry that the world is a horrible, ugly place that no kid should have to endure. But when Bart does find a real girl he likes, Homer is sure that he will be as nervous, sweet, and respectful as he was when he wooed Marge. And hearing this, Marge wonders what they should do, and Homer offers wisdom that has worked for generations of parents. Pretend it's not happening. When I thought about Homer trying to woo Marge is very horrible. Like remember, like the ways we weren't,
Mm-hmm.
the way we weren't. Like he was kind of a creep in that episode.
He was, but I guess relative to Artie Ziff,
True.
because Ziff was also pretty pervy, and this is before he knew
Yeah.
about the dentist spit thing. So,
All right.
men are gross.
And women are grosser.
It's true.
I'm sorry, I meant to say, and women can be grocers. That's what I
Oh,
meant to say.
yeah. We'll allow that. Anywho, Marge opts for a different approach, confiscating every screen under the roof. Bart wonders why he's losing his internet access, but after a subtle reminder from Marge, he accepts his fate. And Marge takes a moment to think about how well she's handled everything, but that just causes her to burst into tears.
So she seeks the advice of a medical professional, saying that a calm, happy person trapped in the body of a crazy lady. The doctor, who is a woman, apologetically tells Marge that there isn't a lot of research into health issues that only affect women. So the doctor goes on to say that her med school professor referred to menopause as esoteric mystery.
It's so true, it sucks. Marge is eager for some sort of relief, so the doctor offers some Preparation XX hormone cream for her thighs, which couldn't hurt unless it does. It probably won't. It's probably gone. She also hands Marge a playbill for Perimenopause, the Perry musical, saying sometimes laughter is the best medicine. And then we head to the show where a woman sings, surrounded by the Grim Reaper and tombstones for her desirability, her fertility, her hope, and the prospect of getting free drinks.
Goodbye to my purpose. Goodbye to my meaning.
So true. Funny and brave.
Surprise!
You replace the fridge? Is that what we do now when something gets old? Just toss it out on the street?
It's a smart fridge. I got it to make your life easier. The next time the teenage eating machine cleans us out, this thing will order groceries delivered right to our door.
Frozen pizza? Frozen burritos? It knows all the crap we eat.
And what's in this bag?
Maggie's impossible to find shoes. I know I haven't been myself lately, but you've done something I never expected. Pitched in.
I don't think I will ever need a use for a smart fridge.
Yeah, I think things don't need to be smart, especially a fridge. Like, some have a camera inside so you don't have to open up the door. That's not necessary.
Yeah, I like old tech, I don't need things to be simplified, even though I feel like most stuff that's like this will like break down.
Yeah, and then you're lost without, like, you depend on the technology that it adds, and then it goes out, and then you're fucked.
My fridge is probably like 30 years old, and it still works just fine. I don't need it to do anything else.
Yeah, we have the fridge that our apartment came with, and it's just like, on a standard stainless steel, bottom of the barrel, like General Electric or whatever, I don't know what brand, but just a basic ass fridge, and it works great.
Stainless steel, you're in luxury, Steve. I just have the classic like white refrigerator with a freezer on top and the fridge, in the main door.
Yeah, I mean it's just a fridge.
I don't have a water or ice chute, and I know that that's been around for 40 years, but I also hear a lot of those like aren't that good because they create mold and blah blah blah. Anyways, I don't need all that stuff. I have a faucet. Yes, my faucet. No, it's not smart, but I've talked about this though before. That was it's not expensive, but that was a pandemic purchase. Was the sensor faucet, so I don't have to actually turn the knobs or the handle. So I just put my hand in front of it and it washes. And it's perfect for someone who cooks and a lot of like cutting. Like, okay, that's when my hands are probably so dry because I'm washing my hands like constantly after everything I cut or do in the kitchen.
No, that's kind of great. I love that.
I don't know, like I kind of think like that's a good Christmas present to give people, like that and bidets. Like people just get a bidet, attach it to the toilet, and then sensor faucets. You'll thank me later.
And it doesn't have to be like a fancy, expensive bidet. You can just get an attachment for like $60 or whatever.
60? They're like $20.
Yeah.
You don't need hot water, folks. Trust me, you don't need hot water. Don't get the ones that have attachments to the hot water. It's not a problem. Your anus likes the cold. Trust me, I've asked.
Yep, and that water will get in there like Ned's dick in two.
Edna's dead ass.
Jesus Christ.
All right. There's a fun little bit. We didn't talk about a previous clip either. A lot of the visual jokes. But like, we had just seen the previous clip, I think it was, that Homer was doing therapy session between Santa's Little Helper and Snowball 9. And it was very funny. And in this one, we had seen Patty and Selma. And last week's episode, Patty got a new hairdo?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And this one, she's got a different hairstyle. And I like this continuity. I hope this stays.
Yeah, I like that. It's a really nice touch.
Like, it'd be cool if like every time we see Patty and Selma from now on, like Patty will always have a different hairstyle.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think you could do a lot of cool stuff with that. Also, talking about hair design, I really like Lisa's teenage hair. Like, I think it works really well for her.
Oh, both her and Bart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, I gotta say, I know that Homer just pitched in, but he bought a fridge. Like, that's a pretty big deal.
Major appliances are always a big deal. I just need a new fridge, Mine's old. I don't want it to be smart. What's something that's not smart that needs to be smart? Like, I think they've thought of everything.
I don't know if this exists, but I want a single unit washer dryer for your clothes that once the washing is done, it knows and it just starts drying it. So you don't have to have that extra step.
That does exist.
No, does it? That's what I want.
Much like how talking to M&Ms and Santa Claus, they do exist.
They do exist.
Yes, go look it up right now. Like, yeah, I heard that they're not that great, and but give it a go, Steve. They're kind of expensive too, so a lot expensive. I was saying, even though the smart fridge is annoying, I think a smart ice freezer chest, which probably does exist, would make more sense because we get so much stuff. Like if you buy like bulk at Costco, we throw it in the freezer, the separate freezer, and things just get buried because it's not well organized.
Right.
And like that would be work because we just like write down like what's in there, but sometimes we forget to erase and forget to write. So it's like It says here we have salmon patties, but that was from November of 2019. So I'm pretty sure if those are still in there, we shouldn't eat them.
Yeah, you should just remark like, oh, that's the last time I came.
That's true.
Because, it's like, oh, yeah, no, remember, let's have some salmon.
What I do like now is they do have like freezers that are refrigerator size. So when you open the the doors, that there's little drawers with all the stuff. But anyways, I digress, Steve.
All right. So back to the show. Because of Homer's small bit of effort, he and Marge head to the bedroom. And after a passionate kiss, Homer promises a smart stove, followed by a smart blender to make smart smoothies out of intelligent bananas. And speaking of bananas, Marge notices that Homer's is not doing much. And Homer looks down at his flaccid hammer, surprised to learn that he's not hard.
So he calmly states that there's no need to panic and then proceeds to dial 911. So then 2 fire trucks, an ambulance, and a helicopter for the EDRRU, the Erectile Dysfunction Rapid Response Unit. And they quickly arrive at 742 Evergreen Terrace, ready to help Homer in his time of need. Even Ned removes his hat out of respect for his neighbor who couldn't rise to the occasion. And Homer is rushed through the hospital. Dr. Hibbert is determined not to lose another erection today. So among signs like, let's obliterate Van's deference embarrassments, and erectile rights are human rights. Homer learns about the leaps and bounds made in boner technology.
Fortunately for you, Big Pharma, which is largely run by old men on their third wives, has poured billions into ED research. We have a mighty arsenal of treatment options at our disposal. Now, Homer, these ED meds will adversely affect your mood, causing aggression, irresponsibility, and a tendency for your mouth to write checks your ass can't cash.
With all the hormonal changes going on in the house, you're the only one keeping things together. Maybe we should think about this.
Men's sexual health is no time for thinking. Shoot me up, Doc!
I already am.
I got the testosterone of a 20-year-old and the patience of a 12-year-old. Get the hell off my kitchen couch!
Make me Jabba the Butt.
Shut up, you little perv!
Homer, calm down!
I medically can't!
Hypocrite, hypocrite, hypocrite.
Get off! Get your pervy self and your pervy germs off of it! Get off of it!
I'm the
pervy germs! Oh, shut up now!
Homer calling Bart a little perv is great. I was going to save this for my end review and discussion, but just the juxtaposition of men's health versus women's health in this episode is so well done.
So well done, and it's so shitty that is the reality that we live in, that a man's boner, it takes so much precedent over, like, the discomfort of women, or, like, the fact that women have to worry about reproductive health a lot more than men, when, they could just make a pill that would make men not impregnate people, but that's too much trouble for us guys. Yeah, this is just so brilliant.
See, I don't think I think men would definitely take that. Like, how many men, like, in their 20s, their teens in their 20s, they don't want to get a woman pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to fuck a lot. And if they don't have to wear a condom, if they had to take a pill every day, like how women have to take women that are on birth control have to take a pill every day. For men, like, if it diluted their sperm, whatever, which you said it could exist, men would 100% take that. Like, we would be on that every day. It's like, set an alarm, 8 a.m., that's when I take the pill.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget this because I don't want to be a dad in my early teens, late teens, early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, early 50s, late 50s, early 60s, late 60s, early 70s. Now we could be a dad.
Exactly. The Robert De Niro route.
Yes. And Al Pacino, don't forget him. Oh, sorry, 80s.
There you go. Ooh-ah.
And Kelsey Grammer.
Great guy.
Love his politics. But this just is, like, it's just, and the end two of them yelling at each other. Like, I love this dynamic because they're such a family.
Even the fact that Snowball and Santos the Helper fighting is just so brilliant. And, we talk about, like, in this season, and again, should be something that I talk about at the end, but how the Simpsons aren't always in the Simpsons these days, and how, like, where's Maggie? Maggie's got a big part in this episode, and everyone in the Simpsons is well represented in the best way possible. I love this episode. Yeah.
Well, let's just get to finishing it up, Steve, all right?
All right, so on the day of Ned's wedding, Marge urges her family to eat their half-assed breakfast so they aren't late. So Lisa once again expresses that she doesn't want to perform, especially with everything that's happening. Marge assures her daughter that she looks fine and shouldn't be so dramatic. And Lisa sarcastically suggests that maybe she'd look better with a face full of Botox.
And Marge responds that she is so sorry that she is struggling with such humongous life change. And Lisa says that she's handled her own life change just fine, revealing that she got her first period last week. And Marge is hurt. But Lisa shares that she had some help.
You got your first period, and you didn't tell me. Why?
Because you make womanhood seem like the most miserable thing that could happen to a person. But don't worry about it. Coach Crap was very helpful.
Bombardment of feelings. Bombardment of transitions. Bombardment of we're all here for you.
She didn't tell me. I'm a failure as a mother.
Whoa! All right, let's move. I got a best man speech to crush. What's the fastest way to the church?
I have no idea. Mom confiscated every screen in the house.
Well, the smart fridge has internet access, so...
Let's get to that wedding, people. Go, go, go!
What did you do, Bart?
Mom, trust me. You don't want to do this.
Bart!
You dog.
I mean, to be fair, Steve has probably pounded off in front of a refrigerator before, but, it's because refrigerators are like women. They're about 6 feet tall, weigh 300 pounds, and they're full of beer.
Yeah. I think you're right. They're full of beer.
Yeah.
Us scientists love food.
It's just so funny imagining Bart, just looking up porn on the smart fridge TV.
You get what you can get.
Yeah. I like also how we got to know when Lisa's first period is.
Yeah, always good.
It's fun for the Simpsons. Steve, when your children ask you, Papa, where were you when Lisa had her first period? You'll let them know.
Yeah, I will.
Daddy, when did Lisa have first period? Can I have some candy now? All right. Seeing Bart's pornographic preferences, Marge spin kicks the smart fridge and knocks it on the side, shouting, "Die, die, die." Or the for our German listeners. She then yells at the family to get in the car so they can celebrate love. And Homer's added testosterone makes it difficult for him to even unlock the car door. And Marge is too emotional. So Bart takes to the wheel despite Maggie's fear. And Marge puts it, if we die, we die. Again, what a great scene.
Yeah, it feels like such a true family thing too. You need to get somewhere and it doesn't matter how you get there. So if you all die, then that's just the way it's going to be. So Bart swerves all over the road, seemingly aiming at anything in his way. And after rear-ending Ned's limo, not unlike Ned rear-ended Head and Krabappel, they arrive at the church where Maggie discovers she forgot her flowers. So Marge hands her a bag of potato chips to use instead.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, except for, all the birds probably shouldn't eat potato chips.
Yeah, it's fine. They deserve a little treat.
I mean, old school Homer would just probably be following Maggie. And every time she threw a chip, he would just try to catch it in his mouth. So with the ceremony underway, Maggie rolls down the aisle in her special big girl shoes, tossing chips as they were flower petals. And Pam is next, bringing tears to the people of Springfield, except for Marge and Lisa, who are too busy being upset with one another.
So at the reception, Homer is due to give his best man speech, but is having trouble focusing regardless of how much testosterone he injects. So he gets some estrogen cream from Marge, for a sense of balance, since he's so mad and sexy. So with a rub of that Preparation XX on his belly, Homer's ready to take the stage.
Well, the day has finally come. The long-suffering neighbor has a chance to even the score. Hope what you're about to hear doesn't give you second thoughts, Pam. Oh! Whoa, that lady cream works fast. Anyway, I was about to roast this beautiful, wonderful man. Aww. He's such a good neighbor, Reno. He lets me borrow stuff, and he loves Jesus so much. And despite all that, he's my favorite person in the entire world.
No.
Is Homer drunk or is he sober when he's doing this?
I think he's sober-ish.
Yeah, this is, again, Homer just growing as a character through the past couple of years. That they're best friends now. So crazy.
I know, it's weird. And I like that Rod and Todd were there being the best men. Or the groomsmen, rather.
So while filming some line dancing, Bart sees a girl that strikes his fancy. He begins talking to her, saying that he drove to the wedding in a car that he drove. And the girl he's talking to is Pam's sister. And they arrived in a limo. As they talk about both riding in cars, Marge rips Homer away from Ned to point out that Bart is talking to a girl and that he is horrible at it. Wait a minute, let's go back. So Pam's sister, how old's Pam, do you think?
That's a good question. I think Ned might have, went to the younger side of things, but, maybe she's 30 and maybe Pam is 16?
Yeah, because Bart is supposed to be, 15 or 16, right? Because he's driving.
Yeah, I assume that, Lisa's 13, Bart is 15. It's a 5-year jump. And, I have a sibling that's 16 years older than me, so it's not so weird.
But don't forget, Ned is 70 years old right now in this time period.
That is true.
Isn't he 65?
Yeah.
Canonically?
He's retired and all that.
Because he eats right, or he's,
Yeah.
At that point in that one episode, he's like, I'm 65. So if he's in his 70s, Pam's probably in her 20s, 30s maybe. Yeah. It should have been maybe I'm Pam's niece.
Yeah. Or even daughter, for all we know.
Right. What I was trying to get at too is what if they end up getting married and then the Flanders and the Simpsons will be, together forever. Yeah. Anyways, just food for thought.
Sure.
So rather than being an unsalvageable internet monster, Bart is a sweet, awkward, and clueless, just like Homer was. So Marge is relieved and then checks in on her other teenager.
Chicks are gonna walk all over him.
That's all I want.
Are you sure you don't want to sit with the Unreal Housewives?
Honey, I'm sorry I made womanhood seem so horrible. It's not that bad. You get used to it. Besides, without it, I wouldn't be your mom. So it's pretty great. Anyway, if you don't want to get up on stage, you don't have to.
I don't? Oh, thank God.
Ooh, hot flash, coming in like a locomotive full of soup. I need my medicine back. You used it all?
I have no memory of the last 2 hours.
Excuse me. Ooh, boy, that's a lot of eyeballs.
A very sweet moment in that clip. So with her guitar in hand, Lisa addresses the audience, saying that Ned asked her to play Perfect by Ed Sheeran. And the crowd is excited, but Lisa isn't going to do that one, despite someone, I think it was Lenny, saying, crap. Instead, she performs a song for her and Marge, playing the Pina Colada song, even if, as Homer points out, playing a song about having an affair is a bold choice for a wedding.
So maybe that was the basis of the song that they had to use for this joke. So maybe I'll forgive them for using Pina Colada.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you could come up with a better affair cheating song, Steve.
How
about Devil Went Down to Georgia? Because you're cheating against Jesus. All right, so Marge thinks the song is perfect, and she grabs Homer, and they dance along with the rest of the attendees, and that's the episode. And I'm surprised, too, there's no end credits. It's just classic, Simpsons end credit music. I also thought that maybe they were going to do a joke where, I know it's dark, that somehow, because of Homer or Marge, mostly Homer, that Pam was going to die at the wedding.
Oh, wow.
Just as a reference, of course, they'll call back to Maude being killed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe Ned wasn't going to have a happy ever after and Pam was going to die. But did that go through your mind?
I didn't until now, and now that's all I can think about.
Now you're sad that she wasn't killed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Steve, I think we've had too much death in pop culture as of late.
It's true.
So I'm glad that didn't happen. So let's just take a break, reflect on this episode, and come back and wrap it up.
Sounds great.
We'll be right back.
Goodbye to my purpose. Goodbye to my meaning.
All right, cowfolk, we're back. Let's finish up this episode. Parahormonal activity. We'll talk about some of our favorite jokes, scenes maybe, most valuable jokester, and we'll give it a review, find out what we're watching next week. But before all of that, Steve, this episode does start with a birthday, and in typical birthday fashion, you receive gifts. Well, Steve, it's not your birthday, but we do this bit about getting gifts from something from this episode to our podcast host. And Steve, there is plenty to choose from in this episode. And I think you need Botox, of course.
Okay, rude.
Well, one of these needles is either Botox or heroin. I don't know. So you figure it out and let me know. I think, Steve, your choice in pornography lately has been kind of boring. I had your wife take your iPad and look at your search history. And she said, like, wow, I know he likes to work with coffee, but yeah. So she's concerned, and you're going to see a psychiatrist soon.
I like my pornography like I like my coffee.
You know what? You also get a subscription to my favorite magazine, which of course is Magazine. And Steve, can you just open your the top of your sweater real quick?
Oh, sure.
Throw a bag of frozen peas in there. Yes. Nothing but tit. Petite peas is what you got there on your chest. A little cold, sorry. Maybe later you'll heat them up. It'll be some creamy green penis in there.
I love the taste of penis. Green penis, that is.
That is, of course, a reference to a great John Lovett's sitcom, The Critic. You know, I know you would love those shoes that Maggie gets, but I think they're a little too small for you, so no shoes for you. And since you said you would love to have a washer and dryer combo, that's not from this episode, but I listen to you, Steve. Unlike you, who don't listen to me. Oh, you do listen to me. What I'm trying to say is I listened to you this week and heard that you wanted a washer dryer combo. So that's what I got you. A Whataburger combo. I mean, washing machine combo. That's going to do it, Steve. Give me a present now.
Well, Craig, I got you some things to keep you entertained because, this life, it's a crazy life that we lead. And sometimes we need some entertainment. So I got you tickets to Perimenopause, the Perry musical. I got you a subscription to the Robot Kaiju Honor Battle manga. Not the pornography, just the manga. So you can, look at the robot with big boobs, the rock with big boobs, and the short-skirted robot. I did get you some big girl shoes. And I also got you, if that doesn't entertain you, well, I got you a bag full of ED treatments. So you can have all the boners you want. But that's not all I got you, because I also listen. And so I got you a smart freezer so that you can see all the things that are in your bonus freezer so you know which meat that you have, regardless of when you last nutted.
Well, the clue I was trying to put out in the episode was I said, I like it when Lisa gets a period, and I was hoping you got me a period. That was my bait for you, so I guess you didn't listen.
Well, I guess you're still not a woman.
And not quite a man. Where has that song go? That Britney Spears song? Not quite a woman, but not quite a man. Is that?
I think it's not quite a girl.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I feel like a woman.
There we go. You think you're Brad Pitt? Well, that don't impress me much. That's a different song.
Say, Marge, so you're in the right ballpark.
Brad Pitt, star of Batman 2 with Scarlett Johansson. Okay, Steve, what made you laugh in this episode?
Oh, boy. There's a lot to laugh at. I really like Homer. I think Homer's my MBJ. I'm just going to say it straight out. I love the way that he played referee for the rest of the family until he couldn't. I especially like him with Santa's Little Helper and Snowball 16. I like Bart being so angsty and horny. I love the Marge and Lisa dynamic. Maggie was a lot of fun, and I think that Lindsay Lohan did a wonderful job playing her. I think that her voice was really spot on, and I think having her be kind of a combination of Lisa and Bart, I think that worked really well. So yeah, I think Homer's my MBJ. Honorable mention to Lindsay Lohan. Also, it's great to see Artie Ziff. I think Lovett's played Pervy Ziff really well. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What about you, Craig?
I think you gave your MBJ the same way I would, but I would say that the Simpsons were the most valuable jokester in this episode.
That's fair.
And you said it in the podcast, too, how everyone played a role and was important to the story. And that's what I think. like scene by scene. I there's nothing in here, even though I scoffed at the Pina Colada song at the beginning, but of course it does make sense at the end. There's not a scene or joke in here that like joke jail or don't care for it. Everything was great in this episode. I was just biting my tongue just to talk about how I felt at the end of this episode. So I'm gonna keep biting it because I want to know what you think, and you already said so. Just why is this a great episode to you?
So yeah, we have the Simpsons family all doing the things that they do best. And, we've had a handful of future episodes, and a lot of times those future episodes kind of lean on making jokes about technology or like moving forward. And they don't do this. This is just a well-written half hour or 22 minutes of sitcom that is better than most sitcoms, regardless of being animated or not. The way that the family is depicted as a family feels so real, so natural. And it's funny and it's real. And I relate to all the characters weirdly. Like, I've never had my period and I've never had a daughter, but I both feel for Lisa and Marge. I've been a horny little dirtbag, and I've not been a parent that I know of, but I also feel for Homer trying to keep the peace, and Maggie trying to like get known. I think that this episode is so effective and just so much fun and so chaotic in the best way possible. I actually want to talk about another show, Beavis and Butthead, specifically the one that's on Paramount Plus right now, and the way that they aged them up to be adults and how effective that worked. I think that this is another example of how well that could work. I don't know what the future of The Simpsons holds exactly, but if they were to do more episodes like this, I'm there for it. I think this episode, even though it's probably not canonical, works so well. And I rooted for everybody. Like, nobody was really in the wrong. They were just feeling their feelings. And I feel like for a show to have, basically all the characters, all 5 members of the family feeling something, and you're justifying like, oh, they're all right in their feelings, even if it's, wrong or whatever, I think is so well done, and it's fun. And I just cannot tell you how much I like this episode. It's going to be a highlight of the season. And I feel like if they wanted to submit an episode for award season, this might be one to consider just because it is so well written. I give all the flowers to Loni and the cast. I think this is a great episode. Also, before I give my ranking, I want to talk about how well it covered women's health in this episode. Like, it sucks to be a woman, I would imagine, because, you have to deal with being hormonal as a teen, and then you have to worry about getting pregnant. And then once that stops to be a concern, then you have to deal with perimenopause, and you have brain fog, and you have hot flashes, and you have mood swings. And then you have menopause, which is perimenopause, but worse. So you have like 5 years of being just normal, and then the rest of your life is just shitty. And as a man, I'm sorry. That sucks. I don't know what it's like, and I feel for you. I think The Simpsons did a really good job of portraying that. Also, juxtapositioning that with men's health and like the treatment that Homer got for not being able to get a boner. It was brilliant. This is just a brilliant episode, front to back. All the praise. So I'm going to give this, women start perimenopause in 35. So I'm going to give this 35 out of 35.
Yeah. Again, you said exactly what I wanted to say. This plays off like the end part where you're saying with men and women and the health in this country, how men are prioritized over women. And we talked about it on the podcast. So I think just that there was great. And you're right that Marge and Lisa are both going through emotional things and will eventually connect, like, hopefully. And you're right about the Simpsons in this time period, which I don't feel like this is the future at all. I think we're just stuck in today times. You're talking about revivals of like Beavis and Butthead and how well it pulled off. But don't forget the King of a Hill has pulled it off really well. And had there like been Simpsons canceled 20 years ago and they said we're coming back and this was the premise, 100% down for this. We've always talked about let's have a spin-off show or something. Maybe Disney Plus has an exclusive Simpsons series. This is what it should be. We've said maybe Lenny and Carly have a show, or Chief Wiggum should be a detective in New Orleans with Skinner. Even though I love that idea, but have like Simpsons aged up. And I know like other shows have kind of done it because they did like the Rugrats all grown up during the time when they were still producing Rugrats, right, as babies or around that time. Same production company. I would love this. I think the dynamics between everyone just is so realistic. I like where they went with Lisa and Bart, and like I said, Homer still stupid, but within good reason that he's also matured. And I said that in the episode. They just drop with like the Maggie not talking joke and just letting her talk like it's not a big deal. And yes, it's a stunt casting, but like in a good way too. Like I think, Lindsay Lohan, perfect choice, right? I want to see more of this. Like I want to see this future, like just how, like you said, Beavis and Butthead will go back and forth. They'll do like teenage stuff, but then have them like as adults. Like, why not just throw this in? Like, let's see the sequel to this in a year with Pam. Like maybe Pam and Ned have a kid, right? This is probably one of my favorite future episodes, even though I don't consider it future. It's a now time, and you said everything I wanted to say, but I just wanted to also reiterate that probably my favorite episode of the season so far, which is saying a lot because there's been like 2 episodes, I think, as of now that have really stood out as great episodes. And of course, being Bart and Frink.
Yeah.
The Day of the Jack-Up, I think, also up there. Oh, no, Aunt Misbehaving. I mean, The Day of the Jack-Up was good too, but maybe Men Behaving Manly. But this one, I think, is it's going to probably be on our like top episode, I think, at the end of the year. I'm just predicting it now.
I think so, yeah.
And I've said this before, beginning of my reviews, if you show a fan who hasn't watched the episodes since 1999 and you show them this one, I think they'll be like, oh yeah, no, this is good. I guarantee it. I swear by it. I think.
No, I agree. I would say that I have a tendency nowadays to go to the Simpsons subreddit when the new episodes air, is just to get a feel for what people are saying. Aside from the little flub with Sarah Wiggum, almost all of the comments were exceedingly positive. And for a subreddit alone to be exceedingly positive, but a subreddit about the Simpsons modern day to like talk about how good this is just shows you how good this episode is. Like, even the internet chuds who Marge is worried about Bart becoming are like, yeah, this is a great episode. So yeah, this is just a work of art. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, if I gave this a ranking, I mean, we know it's going to be positive. So here's my joke ranking. I talk about erectile dysfunction, and like a Viagra is effective for probably 4 to 6 hours. So I'm going to give this a double Viagra and give it 12 hours.
Boing.
Imagine what Bart was due to the internet with a 12-hour boner.
Yikes.
But Steve, it's hard to top this episode. Like next week, if there's a new episode, like, they're going to have to one up this one. But you know what? There's not a new episode next week. In fact, I got a surprise for you.
Oh boy.
Steve, the Wheel of Random, which we haven't used in a long time, and now has a conscience and a voice that we don't like.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Is sadly on Christmas vacation because he doesn't work like Hollywood during the week of Christmas or the month of December. So I thought, hey, let's get into the holiday spirit and just watch an episode that's a Christmas episode for next week of The Simpsons that we haven't reviewed. How about that? Wheel of Random. I haven't even seen that being in months, and I'm fine with him.
Yeah,
being here.
Kind of a jerk.
It will be a Christmas-based episode, and you'll have to come up with a title still. And it's one that we haven't reviewed. And it's fun to go back to the past, Steve. We're going to go all the way to season 22, episode 8. So, what do you think the title is?
Well, let's see. That's, what are we talking about? Like around 2010?
Are we talking that? I don't know what year this is.
The year that episode came out.
It would be 1989, but actually 2010, 11 season. No, the 2011, 10-11 season. So, as long as it's not never mind, I won't say the 6 or 7 words.
Yeah, we don't say that.
Okay. Season 2010, Steve. That's when you got married, right?
2000. No, that's actually about the day that I met my wife. Actually.
Oh, okay. Well, that was the day you should have married her.
I mean, I would have if I could have, but that would have been weird because
we
hadn't
don't do
dated
that.
yet. 2010, it's all about the athleisure and the hey-ho bands. So I'm going to say it was the Slushy Bucket Challenge.
I did say this was a Christmas episode, right?
Yeah, that's why they do it. They do it for Christmas.
Okay. I mean, you could throw it in a Christmas time, but okay, fine. Steve, no, sorry. It's called, and it's what I'm going to do with you.
Oh.
It's called The Fight Before Christmas. What do you think that's about?
Well, I think that Homer and Bart get a new video game device, and they reunite their fight from way back in the early 90s when they were, had that video game system and they were fighting, basically playing Punch-Out, but it was The Simpsons. And so Homer and Bart have a big video game fighting competition. Meanwhile, in the B-plot, Lisa looks for the true meaning of Christmas as a mall elf and then discovers that maybe Buddhism isn't for her, and she tries her hand at Shintoism.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was looking at hentai on the internet. Yeah, you were 100% correct. That's the story.
Cool. I knew it.
No, you dummy. So in this Christmas anthology, the Simpsons family experience several dreams. They meet guest stars, chase down Santa Claus, and wish for their war-fighting mother to return home. And pop princess / astronaut Katy Perry guest stars. Our Orlandos will bloom. Oh, wait, they're not together anymore, are they?
No, our Russells will brand.
Our Justins will Trudeau. With the sight of Katy Perry, because I remember this segment.
Yes. Bart's going to like it.
I don't know if animation in it, I guess. It's too real.
That's true.
All right, Steve, fun bit of note here, written by Dan Castellan and his wife, Deb LaCosta.
Ooh, fun.
Is this going to finish our Deb and Dan episodes? Because they only wrote a couple, right?
I think we might be getting close to there. Yeah, I don't want to say for certain, but we're getting there.
Okay. Well, it aired December 5th, 2010. It's been a while since we went back in time on The Simpsons, and even though 2010 seemed like maybe 2 years ago, it was 15 years ago. How is this possible, Steve?
Wow.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Again, great episode that we watched today. I can't wait to get into Christmas spirits with you next week. Until then, folks, let us know how you're doing, how we're doing, by emailing us at 13simpsons@gmail.com or hit us up on the socials of Instagram, YouTube, of course, at 138simpsons.
And hey, if you want more content from us, we're happy to give it to you, but not for free. Go to patreon.com/annoyeddrunkboys and sign up for a bonus episode every week. It's just $5 a month, and we've got all kinds of great things. And Craig, what do we have for them this week?
We're not going to be doing a audio commentary again. We thought it would be nice and easy. That was the most difficult we had to do for a podcast, and it still didn't turn out that great. But it still works. Please listen to it and sign up for our Patreon. But we will be talking about a movie, and we did have many options from this week's episode of guest stars, of course, of John Lovitz and Lindsay Lohan. But I think we're going with some classic Lovitz. And again, I want to stick with the Christmas spirit, and it's a movie that I've never seen. So we're going to be doing Craig hasn't seen this Friday. A little Christmas movie called Trapped in Paradise, starring the aforementioned John Lovitz, Garth himself, Dana Carvey, or most people know him as Turtle, Master of Disguise. And of course, everyone's favorite, Nicolas Cage. Steve, do you know anything about Trapped in Paradise? You said you have seen it, right?
I think I've seen it on cable probably 30 years ago. I remember a dog with 3 legs named Tripod, and that's about it.
Well, here's the Google description. Fresh out of prison, Alvin, Dana Carvey, and David, John Lovitz, pull their brother, Bill, Nicolas Cage, back into a life of crime. But the siblings' foolproof bank heist takes a tailspin when Alvin gets lost in a getaway car. And that's how the criminal nitwits end up trapped in the snowbound burg of Paradise, Pennsylvania on Christmas Eve with a bag full of stolen cash. With suspicious police on one side and hospital townsfolk on the other. Could a change of heart be far away? I don't know. It's not a well-reviewed movie. It's free on Tubi, of course. Thank God for Tubi showing us shitty movies. for free. I will take those commercials. I am excited to see this. It's funny that Dana's name is Alvin and then John is Dave. I just think of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing. Like, where's Simon and Theodore?
All right. It will not be a audio commentary. It's just going to be a review.
That's right. Nice and simple.
Yes. All right. Well, did we tell people to go to tpublic.com/user/annoyedgruntboys for some merch? You probably get it in before Christmas. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. It's only 10 days away from this record.
Yeah, probably not. But a present that you can give to us is go to your favorite podcatching app, leave us 5 stars or the equivalent. But don't tell us, don't give us a real review. Just tell us the thing that you got caught masturbating to as a teen.
We do want to hear that. That is funny. That could be a whole Patreon episode. That's the real gift. Sign up for patreon.com/annoyedgruntboys. All right, for this week, I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Craig.
And I've been Annoyed Gruntboy Steve.
And remember, I heard heroin was amazing.
Oh, look, a rock with big boobs.